Welcome back to Heroes Next Door. Thank you again for joining us. Once again, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification. Today we're bringing you a special episode that I'm going over some of the gear that I personally use. If you have been watching the channel for a little while, you noticed that I did put a video out about how I became a SWAT medic. And in that, a lot of people have asked me, what kind of gear do I carry? How does it set up and that kind of thing. So today we're going to talk about that a little bit. This is the gear that I personally use for our emergency response team, aka SWAT. To get started, this is the major piece of kit that I actually use. This is my tactical vest. It's set up specifically for me. And any person that, sets up their own gear, you have to make it available to what you're used to, where you think you're going to grab for things in the dark, in chaos, that kind of stuff. So just because I have mine set up this way doesn't mean across the board our team has, except for one specific piece of kit. And that's our personal emergency kit on our back. We do it on our back left flank. This is the kit that we're going to use in case I get hurt. So my teammates are going to come help me. They're going to open this kit specifically right here. All of our guys across the board have the same kit in the back for them specifically. So on the front of my vest is what I treat patients with. I live in a situation where I don't have to gear up and gear down tremendously. So I try to do the broadest range of kit that I could, so I can do urban areas and I can do some rural areas. It is a heavier kit. There are some lighter things out there. We're looking at getting a plate carrier. We're looking at some different belts. But I've used this kit for a number of years now, and I feel very comfortable in it. The one thing that I did notice on a lot of the videos that I've seen of different kits out there, they talk about the different protection. This is the bicep protection, I have a collar protection, and I have the groin protection. And I have chosen to remove those simply because of the way we operate. I'm not in the stack 100%. I do get in the stack and I go to the last point of cover or concealment, but I don't carry a weapon here in the state of Pennsylvania. So I'm protected on both front and back with officers. So in order for me to have the maximum amount of movement, when I got to drag a patient out or I got to start working on patients, I found it much easier to remove the bicep protection, the crotch protection, and the neck protection. Especially that neck protection. It is a good thing if you're going through the front door and you're knocking it down, but when I'm trying to work on a patient, it's very hard. So I've stripped these off, and we'll get rid of these right away. They are available to me. If I do need to gear up, if the things change, I have them available. This is my vest. This is a level 4A vest. It is made by Point Blank. I do have plates in these, and these plates are made by Paraclete. They're very light plates, but they do stop rifle rounds. We've tested these. We've actually took a couple of them to shot them up just to make sure they will work. The representative out there with us did an awesome job. I trust these with my life. So I got one in the back, one in the front, and then we'll go from there. So if you notice, I have two clips right away. One of the struggles that I have when I put on a vest is putting a backpack on of any kind. If I need to carry my full gear, I have a hard time slinging something across my shoulders and then either clipping it or resting it, stuff like that. So we've been searching quite a bit. I've been searching since I started to find a vest that I can actually put my backpack on, and this is the best solution that we have. These clips actually go to my backpack. Here's my backpack here. So how this would be is these straps actually just kind of come over and clip in. They go on each side, clip in like so, and then when I need to drop it, I don't have to unsling it, get my arms out or anything like that. I simply push the buttons, drop my pack, and then I'm ready to go. So this is my drop pack also, and we'll go over this in just a little bit. Back to my vest here. Once again, I have the plate. Every EMS should have similar gear. You want to have a chest seal, you want to have decompression kits, you want to have pressure dressings, and you need tourniquets. That's really what we're doing. When we're stripped down to this level of service, we're looking at two things. We're looking at immediate blood stop, and we're looking at extrication. So that's kind of how this is set up. So from here, I got some tools for cutting clothes. I got lights. I got a multi-purpose tool. I'm just going to start grabbing everything out of my pack here. I'll put it together later. Got pressure dressing. Got tourniquets. This is one of the older tourniquets. I got different styles. I got my chest seal, pair of gloves, quick clot dressings, my needle decompression kit. So there's a lot of stuff in this front pouch, but it's all designed to stop the bleeding. If my officer goes down, if a bystander goes down and I need to stop bleeding, that's what this is for. But once I do that, I have to get them out there. So here's the carabiner that we use, and I use that in collaboration with webbing. And my webbing is ready to go. With webbing here, I hook this on the patient. I can wrap it around the wrist. I can hook it onto my back of the vest. And this gets hooked onto my carabiner so I can do a drag. Always important to have some webbing. I also have extra batteries. I have a set of tools if I got to do an adjustment on my radio or my headset or anything like that. I carry some paracord, and the reason I carry that is I actually use the paracord for tying doors open, making sure I have an exit strategy. So having paracord, having a stop chalk or something like that is very, very important. The other things that I have here are communications. We use the Harris radio system. It is very specific. It is encrypted for the team. This doesn't go out to anything else unless I change it to our hospitals. So we're not connected with the rest of the EMS with this. This is very specific for the team. Last but not least, I have a utility pouch. So once I start treating a patient, maybe I got to drop my pair of gloves. If it's wintertime, I got regular gloves on, I can throw that in my utility pouch and get to work. Very effective vest. It took me a lot of time to work on this, and any person that gets a new vest is going to fart with this thing for days, trying to figure out what works the best for them. You know, is it better to have my flashlight in the middle? Is it better to have it to the right or to the left? Every person's going to be a little different. This one works for me. I do have a connection for another flashlight here that's actually connected to my helmet, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But this is my vest setup. The whole thing, once it's packed up and fully loaded, weighs roughly about 35 to 40 pounds. So you got to be fit enough to, put this on, and I wear this for training, for 8 hours at a time. A couple years ago, we had an incident that we were out there for almost 12 hours. So you got to be able to withstand, that weight on your shoulders. So putting it in a position where it fits comfortably for you. On the shoulders, that the weight kind of goes down onto the hips is very, very important. So once again, this is my gear that I use. I've been using this for about 2 or 3 years now. I love it. It's very comfortable, very easy to use. Let's move on to my helmet. So the helmet I use has quite a bit of gear on it also. It has a rhino mount, so I can do night vision or thermal imaging. Thermal imaging works well for EMS because we can see where people are. And even in the dark, you can start IVs because you can actually see the heat of the vein running through the arm. If you haven't done it, it's pretty cool to practice and do that. This is the light system that I talked about that can mount either on my vest or on my helmet. We have radio communications. This plugs right into my vest. So the system on the inside has a boa strap, so you can crank this down to make sure it fits. Has your chin strap that you can adjust. And then I use a face mask. But the reason I use a face mask is because I want to keep my identity fairly secure. I run in areas where I also work in EMS, so I don't need them to know exactly who I am when I'm working for the team. When I refer to myself, I refer to myself as medic. I never say my name, but having a cover just kind of gives me that little safety and security. This one works really well because it's a mesh hard insert. This one's very easy to take on and off. There's a little button on the side. It goes right into my rail, and you can take it on and off. This is a level 3A helmet, so it will stop most handgun rounds. It may take a shot from a rifle round, but I wouldn't test it on that. Maybe one, but that's about it. Excellent helmet, nice lightweight. Ear muffs are mounted right to it, so they're not pushing real hard on your ears, and you can get your safety glasses on and all that kind of stuff right in this helmet. Love this helmet, it's a good way to go. One more piece of kit that I carry with me is a gas mask. And whether I carry it on my person or I carry it in my backpack, it's with me at some point where I have easy access to it. Full face mask, I have my filters, I exchange those out as needed. This one I just opened up, I think, last training, so we're pretty good. It's got a full face mask, and this will fit underneath my helmet. Working in an area using a gas mask, your helmet, your vest, you need that mobility, and that's one of the reasons why I took off those arm things, why I took off the growing protection. I took off the collar protection because I need to get down, usually on my knees, to treat patients. Good thing to have is a pair of knee pads, especially for the EMS providers. So we're going to be down on the ground, either on our belly, hiding behind trees, but when we start working on patients, a lot of times we're on our knees. So protecting my knees from the gravel, either a rapid get down, knee pads are very, very important. So that's pretty much the gear that I actually run with on a regular basis. On every call out, I'm set and ready to go. I do carry a backpack, as I showed you earlier, and I'm going to go through that real quick. So the backpack I use is a new one to me. It's made by BDS. BDS is a company that can actually customize your backpacks for whatever you need. So if you need the straps like I have it, it works well. It does have a waist strap available. I choose not to use that unless I'm doing a trek up a mountain or I'm going to be trekking a long distance. Then I will pull these loose and put the waist strap on it. But for the most part, this thing's set up very simply. I have an add-on pouch here. And again, our job as EMS is to extricate. So this is where my stretcher is. I have a collapsible stretcher right here. Comes out, put this down, and I can pull anybody out. I had a provider that was working with us. He was not fat, but muscular. He loved to work out. Excellent dude. He probably was pushing 300 pounds, especially with all of his gear on. And to carry him out, this collapsible stretcher as well. We could put him on that. One guy in each corner, and we can drag him out pretty easily. Easy access again on that outside compartment. I have some glow sticks to mark my area. On the outside here, this is where we have more of the gear. So your dressings, your tourniquets are all in here. Here's the other kind of tourniquet. Decompression needles. This is that stop the bleeding stuff. So if I didn't do it well, or I need to update, have availability of more patients or more tools to do. Without opening up the whole pack, I can get to that very quickly. On the other side of my pack here is where I have some of my assessment tools. I have more drag ability with webbing, but then I have a pulse ox and a CO2 monitor. You don't need that a whole lot in the emergent situation. This is once I kind of narrow things down or things have slowed down and I'm maybe stuck in an area and I need to do a full assessment. This is where this comes into play. I have a blood pressure cuff. I have a glucometer ready to check patients. You know, a lot of times we show up and we start assessing patients and realize, you know, the only reason they're kind of acting strange is because their sugar's low. You know, maybe we just ran them through the woods for the last half hour, or, you know, we've been wrestling with them because they didn't give up and they burned up all their sugar. We don't know. Having a tool easy to go on the side of the pack is a good way. This pack is also designed to flip open and have all my stuff accessible. Right away, I have some SAM splints. I have an Easy IO. I have my IV access fluids. Those are in here. I have more dressings like pressure dressings and Coban. So those orthopedic injuries that I might treat on a longer call out, this is what this is for. I have my intubation roll. I have my medications. So even over here, I got a full rack of medications. Everything from cardiac drugs all the way up. Again, this pack is designed to be long term. Some of you may be going, I don't need all that for a call out. You're right. This is where it's going to stay in the truck. It's going to be your drop bag. You don't have to take this kind of stuff with you, but it's nice to have it when things hit the fan. You may not be able to get an ambulance out to you right away, so you may have to sit and treat a patient for 10 to 15 minutes. Fortunately, here in Chester County, PA, where I live, our ambulances are fairly close, so it's very rare that I need to use these, but I have it available, and that's the key. We always trying to think, what ifs? What if this happened? What if I get stuck? What if I need this or what if I need that? I try to prepare for it the best I can. Once again, this is my gear. It's the way I set it up. You guys asked for it. Take a look. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. I'm always open for more suggestions. If you see something that might help me out, please put it in a comment below. Once again, this is Heroes Next Door. Thank you for taking the time to look at my gear and look forward to some more videos.